After 10 minutes, one candidate will join. Let's start. He will join.
Okay. Okay. So, hello all. My name is Rohan Jain, and I've been into SAP TM for more than around 9 years now. I have worked on to TM 9.1, 9.5, 9.6, as well as into the HANA version of TM. Apart from that, I have been through two implementation, three migration, one global rollout support project. That is something a brief background about myself. So I would just like to introduce yourself, probably, just to know so that I can get a brief background about yourself. What is your nature of job, probably, and why are you intended to learn SAP TM? Probably we can start with Aslam if you are there.
Yeah, so hi all. Good afternoon, good evening. My name is Aslam Ansari, and I am basically a SAP EWM consultant with experience of around 11 plus years. And
Okay,
once I look at the market, so I feel like I have to migrate myself and learn the new things like this SAP TM, which is highly integrated with the SAP EWM and other SCM modules. So that
very
will be
true.
the main aim to learn the TM along with the SAP EWM to have more, I would say, competence knowledge in the supply chain modules.
That
So
is
this
very
is
good.
the little bit about me. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Aslam. Um Vinny?
Hello. Yeah,
Yeah,
hi.
hi, Vinny.
Yeah, hi. I think it was even I have experience in SAP EWM. I've been part of some EWM implementation project. So around 10 years experience in EWM. Before that, worked on SAP logistic modules. So
Okay,
yeah, I
great.
think yeah,
Okay,
that's
that's
it
fine. No,
from
no
my side.
problem. Thank you. Kanan?
Yes, Rogan.
Yeah.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes, I'm able to hear you.
Yeah, I'm an SAP SD consultant with early TRA. So
Great.
around 4 years of experience. So
Hmm.
I'm doing in freelancing too for this and doing some support activities in ticket resolving and freelancing as well. So I'm looking for the TM further for from early TRA to upgrade me.
Basically to upscale. Great.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So, Ika, Birendra Ika, I believe.
Yep. Yeah, hi Ron. Yeah.
Yeah, hi. Hi, Birendra.
Yeah. But yeah, basically I just work as a SAP logistic consultant and would like to know better about SAP Transportation Management. Yeah, that's my
Okay.
intention to join this.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. Vivek?
Hi Rahul.
Yeah, hi,
Hello.
Vivek. Hi, Vivek.
Uh, Recently, I have joined Capgemini as a freshie. I have got project in SAP TM, so I want to learn this.
Okay, okay. So, what's your background basically? You were initially from the TM SAP background, or how is it?
I have got training in SAP ABAP for 3 months, and after that,
Okay.
I have got project in SAP TM, so I want to learn this.
Okay, great, great. So, basically, you are a fresher to you are blended into TM right now. Great.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Rahul.
Okay, that's fine. Fine, Vivek. Thank you all to be present over here. Okay, so I would just like you to, since most of you already have a pretty much good background into SAP, and probably will be also be eventually Vivek, if you don't consider that this is something that eventually, if you are not from even SAP background, it will be very much good for you. So that is fine. So just let me share my screen so that you guys can understand what all things that we are going to see in the demonstration in your regular curriculum. That is what we are going to share. Let me. Just let me know once you're able to see my screen.
Now it is visual, Rahul.
Great, great. So thank you for that, same. Since we will be talking about SAP TM, so I believe most of you are already new to TM or you're trying to learn TM probably. So what I would do is I would start off with the basic essential terms of the logistics industry, which are inclined toward SAP TM, because there are a lot many terms in the logistics world that you might definitely be hearing, or eventually those might not be relevant from TM aspect. So we'll be talking about all those terms which are actually inclined towards TM side, and they will actually be meaning something in TM. Okay, and then probably we'll be talking about different kind of party logistics system, that is talking about 1PL, 2PL, 3PL. There are different kind of party logistics system, and in fact you still have your 4 and 5PL kind of logistics system which are there. So what are these and how these will be proceeding, and we'll be discussing about that. And slowly then we'll be moving into the introduction of TM, how TM is, how does it got evolved from till your LETRA era up till your today's TM what you are having. And I believe since one or two of you already have worked into LETRA, so probably you must have been aware that LE is going to be phased out by SAP. Recently, it will be by 2025, they'll be phasing out LE. So more or less, customers who are still using LE have to move to any other TMS solution, probably if it is from SAP, or even if it is not from SAP, probably they'll be jumping into that. That is one of the reason that you see a surge in TM space. Okay, so as a part, just to discuss, we'll be only be having around starting 2 to 3 sessions, probably close to of a theoretical part. We'll be entirely focusing on the practical application of TM by working and getting into the system and creating the uh, datas over there. Apart from that, if you see, we'll be talking about two kind of cases which are widely used in your TM space, which are your shipper scenario based cases and your LSP cases. Now, what are these shipper scenario based cases? Um in fact, if I would tell you, uh, any person or any manufacturer or a producer who is actually willing to take care of its own transportation, okay, so any person or any company which is actually willing to invest in TM can buy TM and can manage their own transportation by installing TM at their own end. Such kind of a cases where customers are managing their own transportation solution, which are generally termed as your shipper based cases. That means you have a shipper which is actually managing the transportation alongside with a carrier. So you don't have much more entities over there. Complexities comes once you have, or once you talk about something called as an LSP scenario. That is logistics service provider, or you can also call it as a freight forwarder. So these are basically the set of companies which are specifically very well versed in such kind of a logistics transportation. For example, DHL is one of the company. Panalpina is one of the company. Okay, not Maersk. I would say um, uh, Daman. Daman is one of the company. Okay, so you have lot many companies which are still there in the market, which are actually working as a 3PL. What is a 3PL? Basically, which acts as an interface between the shipper, that is a manufacturer, or the carrier, and the carrier. Okay, so you have, because there could be sometimes that I may not be feeling comfortable to install a TM and have a IT support staff team from TM perspective to take care of the IT sector at my end. So what I could do is I could definitely outsource it, and I can ask DHL or some kind of an intermediary company like DHL or Panalpina or FedEx kind of a company to manage my transportation. So we are going to see how these two kind of cases occur. So in generally in LSP kind of cases, you broadly have two broad kind of a cases like ocean scenario and air scenario. In ocean scenario, you still have two more classification, that is LCL and FCL. Okay, LCL or FCL is nothing but a full container load and a less than container load kind of case. So what are these two kind of cases? I believe if you must have visited any container yard or dockyards, or if you must have visited or must have seen some kind of a case in movies where you have containers which are placed onto those ships, some scenes. So such kind of cases you definitely will be referring it as a container that I'm talking about. So if you are occupying the complete container space, I would say you'll be referring it as full container load case. And if at all it is a less than container load case, that means you are occupying just 30, 40, or eventually the 50% of the space, you'll be referring it as a less than container load case. We'll talk about in the system how it looks like and how we'll be proceeding here in that. Similarly, the case in air scenario would be coming it as your ULD based cases. That means unit load device. Basically, what is a unit load device is it is nothing but a kind of a, you can call it as a container which is meant for air kind of scenarios. Where you have your big containers, definitely you cannot load those big containers into the airplanes, right? So to have a small shaped material sized constructed vehicle material, you have your small one third or one fourth size of your containers which are created, which are known as your ULD cases. So your ULDs are basically updated or uploaded in your airplanes. So we'll talk about how these things would work out. Alongside, definitely we'll be talking about the rail and road kind of a cases, which will be definitely be included as a part of multimodal case, which where we'll be talking about different modes of transportation, and thereon we'll be talking about. Apart from that, we'll be also be going through through an overview of architecture of TMECC integration, talking about various kind of objects like DTR, what is an OTR, talking about an end-to-end business flow that we'll be talking about, starting off from your very basic cycle that starts off from your lead to agreement up till your settlement part. That is what we have. So you have six basic core components of team that basically talks about the master data management, order management, planning, execution, settlement, and the cross process. So this cross process basically talks about all the cross component integration that you are having. So suppose if you do have an knowledge on EWM probably. So probably what you can do is you can integrate TM with EWM or event management or CRM. So probably all those cross processes are nothing but cross connected modules that you might be interacting with. Although we'll not be covering those modules as a part of our TM course, but yes, all those touch points where you have an integration which all you'll be working on to, I'll definitely handhold you to that specific areas and we'll be discussing on those sections as well. I've explicitly mentioned the charge management over here, although this charge management is a part of your master data management side. Okay, why? Because it is specifically because most of the time people are still confused that how what happens from the charge management point of view, what is happening over this place. So probably what you can say is you still have your scales, rate tables, calculation sheets, and agreements, or charge categories, charge types. There are a lot many things in the charge management that we'll be talking about. Basically this talks about how the charge is going to be calculated. Okay, that is the core basic objective of this particular section. Apart from that, we will definitely be talking about different kind of terms that we'll be hearing, or you can say the documents that you'll be creating. What is an forwarding order? What is a freight order? Service order, freight booking, forwarding settlement document, or a settlement document. So you have all these kind of documents that eventually you'll be hearing, and with the flow, how it gets created. Definitely, we'll be talking about in that perspective. Once it is thorough, okay, so definitely we'll be talking about the end-to-end cycle by covering and creating all these documents. We will also be talking about something from the point of view of carrier selection and the tendering process, although I'll not be able to showcase you the real-time tendering process because it requires a lot many ABAP efforts, plus it also requires a realistic data probably, which will definitely be helping you in the real time for the ABAP part basically. Okay, so that is something which is going to be there. So but yes, still I still be having a certain set of real time document where I have actually captured all the set of steps, at least that will be easier for you to understand what a carrier selection is and what a tendering process is. First of all, the basic difference is carrier selection basically occurs if you have a list of carriers available with you, pool of carriers available with you, and you are actually proceeding ahead with the selection of those particular carrier based upon the order that you are having. And tendering occurs, tendering is also called carrier selection, but tendering occurs if you are reaching out to the market to select or pick up the best carrier that you are having. Okay, so that depends on the kind of selection that you are having. Apart from that, I'll also be taking you some points towards the ABAP structure, which is irrelevant from the TM point of view, although we'll not be getting into the deep diving part of the technical aspect of TM, because there will be something called as BOPF architecture, conditions, BRF class. So all these are nothing but set of things which you are, if you are knowing, that is very good. It is good to know, kind of a feel factor, but it is not a mandatory part that you should be having a subject knowledge on these aspects. But if you do have, definitely that will be a good from your future perspective if you want to move into a techno-functional kind of a role. The last section that we will be covering about is it will be of collaboration portal. I believe you must not have heard about collaboration portal. Collaboration portal is basically a web UI portal which is designed from the carrier point of view, that most of the carriers that are there existing, the carriers will be interacting, because in the real time, if you are actually interacting with the real time truckers or ships, so it is very difficult to manage them because you have lot many carriers around the globe. Okay, eventually if I talk about in the road also, you have multiple players, regional, national and local players. So you have many carriers which are there, so to manage them it is very difficult. So what SAP has come up with is they have created an independent module called as collaboration portal, which is nothing but a carrier integrated web UI portal that you can integrate with TM. So it doesn't come into TM by default. You have to procure the additional licenses for the collaboration portal, and you can integrate it with TM. You can definitely proceed ahead for the collaboration portal integration, and you can proceed with the carrier integration part. This is something you definitely would not be knowing, but I still have the real-time documentation with me to showcase you how the collaboration portal basically looks like, what all carrier would be able to do, what all activities he'll be able to perform by logging into the portal, how he'll be able to track, report the events, taking care of an agreement. So something which is relevant only towards respect to the carrier. Okay, so and it will be of completely of around a 20 to 30 hour session that we'll be spending together by covering all these topics, set of things that definitely you can come up with. You can get in touch with Pallavi in those cases, and depends on the session. We definitely can have alternate day session or a daily session or an weekend session. So it totally depends on the availability, mutual availability. So whether you do have, suppose most of the times you are available in the morning hours or in the evening hours, or probably you are available only in the weekend, so probably you can discuss and communicate the same to the Pallavi. Probably we can proceed ahead accordingly with you. So she can discuss it with me. We can come upon a basic timelines that we can proceed ahead with. Okay. So this is something that we are actually will be going through, and once you are definitely thorough to proceed with, to let me know, we can definitely commence the sessions. If you do have any questions and doubt, probably you can come up.
Hi, Rohan. I have a question. Do you have any schedule? Topic wise, how are you covering? What are the
Hmm.
number of sessions you will be covering? So,
Yes.
what is the plan to cover all these topics?
Yes, so I definitely will be having a schedule, but that depends on the number of sessions that we are going through. So since it is a 30-hour duration course, so just like let you know, probably whether it will be a 1 hour session or it will be a 2 hour session. Accordingly, I'll share it once you actually are going to confirm uh, beforehand once you begin the session. So you'll be having the topics already with you in hand today that suppose I'm going to cover these set of things, so you'll be having an idea that this is what is expected today. There will be no extra surprises. Probably we might extend, or maybe it might spill over to the next session, but that can be taken care of. It is not something which is hardline to 30 hours. We may get, it is something that it is very flexible. We can end up based upon the conversation that we are having. We can proceed ahead accordingly.
So, are you saying that you will be covering these scenarios, and after covering these scenarios in SAP, what are you covering? Is it master data or configuration, or because there is transportation cockpit, which I don't see anything here.
Yes,
So
it will be
there are
there.
some more advanced topics also.
Yes, it will be covered. Do you have anything in your mind that is something you are expecting? Probably you can say, I can give you a go,
No,
yes or
there
no.
are several optimizers are there. Optimizer,
Optimizer definitely would be requiring the
VSR,
wrap up. So
vehicle.
yes, that is what I'm saying. VSR optimizer basically requires an wrap effort. So optimizer related objects you will not be able to see in the demonstration system. So yes, that is correct. But yes, transportation cockpit will be there. It is something which is used for the planning aspect, so that will be coming under the planning part.
And are you not covering any integrating topics? GTS, EWM,
No,
SDM.
I can let you know the touch points where the integrated objects, where it all will be from team perspective, what all things will be uh, lying there. Probably, if I would, I can probably let you know that this is the place where you'll be maintaining such and such objects of EWM if you want to maintain something. So from that perspective, I can definitely let you know, but not something from EWM that I can let you know that this is something how you integrate, and this is how both of the systems are now connected, like that. If you're expecting that, then definitely that will not be there.
Mhm.
Anything which is coming under the jurisdiction of TM, I'll be taking care of. Don't worry on that part. Any more thoughts that you are spending on the topics? Probably, maybe I might not have listed out over there, but yes, I'll be taking care. Okay, so probably if you guys don't have any question, maybe you guys can get in touch with Pallavi. Okay, maybe you guys can let me know. You can reach out to me as well over my mail ID, or reach out to Pallavi directly. She can resolve the issues. Probably if you do want to connect with me again, probably we can also connect and discuss on a specific note that you are expecting, and if you do have any questions further before you join. So do let me know, or do let Pallavi know that what could be your timeline to proceed ahead. Okay. Pallavi, can you please take a note from them, and maybe we can connect accordingly then.
Okay, Rohan. Okay, Rohan, thank you. So, guys, if you have any questions, doubts, you can ask with him. Otherwise, we will wind it. No question, guys? Okay, thank you. Rohan, uh,
Yes, Pallavi.
then we will wind up the session.
Sure, Pallavi. So, if definitely, if you guys do have any questions, do reach out to Pallavi. He'll be there to support you in your queries. Probably we can connect again also if you do want. Uh, do let us know, and we'll be happy to onboard you over here. Thank you all. Thank you for the session.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for attending the session.
Thank you, Rahul.
Thank you, Vivek. Thank you, Biren. Thank you, Kannan. Thank you, Mani. Aslam.
Thank you.